Welcome back to my corner of the multiverse. This is the Salty Goddess Podcast. I'm Margaret Perry. Welcome to your Hump Day Guilty Pleasure, the last one of the year. Oh my God, we're going to say goodbye to 2025 today. Isn't that exciting? 2026, here it comes. The beginning of a new year, new month, the whole 9 yards, right? So how about a new you? That's a concept. Everybody's running around talking about their New Year's resolutions. And it just seems to me like it's a little bit weird in a way. So let's resolve, first of all, to share, download, subscribe, and follow the Salty Goddess everywhere. All the social medias, all the podcasting platforms. Make sure you tell everybody about it. You don't have to admit that you listen because it is your guilty pleasure. Nobody needs to know what you do in the privacy of your own home. However, I would appreciate it, so would my staff, if you would please let everybody know that I'm out there. All right? Now, let's talk about 2026 and the habit of making New Year's resolutions. It's interesting because a lot of people do it. They do. But this is how I see it. I see everybody doing the same thing they did last year. And I mean, hey, look, please, don't stop now. I mean, keep doing exactly what you've been doing. Yep. Overspend. Yeah. Commit, overcommit, and then fail to produce. Promise things you have absolutely zero intention or capacity of delivering. Because honestly, I mean, it's working beautifully for you, isn't it? 2025 was a year filled with opportunity, successes, achievements, growth, right? Or no? I mean, definitely don't work on yourself. Don't rebuild that shattered foundation. I mean, in fact, why not just continue to ignore? Your emotional masonry has absolutely zero mortar, but just keep stacking bricks of denial on top of that loose rubble and call it your confidence, your strength. And listen, if anybody suggests to you that you should do some healing, please just listen. Double down, friends, double down. Because if you admit to needing some healing, I mean, that would mean somebody else was right. And Lord knows your fragile egos cannot handle any of that shit. All right. We already know you can't survive that level of ego bruising and trauma. But listen, I think it's great. Let me give you, some applause here. Keep blowing that budget month after month, week after week. Live right on the edge of financial ruin like it's a personality trait. Ignore the anxiety. Ignore the math. I know math is hard. Ignore the fact that you're literally one unexpected expense away from absolute chaos. I mean, just ignore it all. I mean, why pay homage to a budget that you spent time putting together on a spreadsheet, that you carefully input all those numbers, added things, summed up a column? Well, I mean, why would you pay attention to all that data? What do you need data for? You don't, right? right? I mean, clearly, this strategy has been impressive for you since what, 2022? 2021 was super impressive in 2023 and a showstopper for y'all in 2024. And I see no reason why you shouldn't repeat it again in 2026, right? Because there's always been a security blanket there to help you out. But by all means, go get some hair plugs. Get a penile implant. Get your hair colored. Purchase someone's biological matter off of a social media marketplace. Because, long-term planning feels so optional. And listen, this is just an observation. But I'm thinking if you're buying male biological matter off of a marketplace on a social media platform because you can't afford a fertility treatment, I'm thinking you probably can't afford to raise a whole ass crotch goblin either. What? It's weird how you think about your behaviors, your actions, and the consequences of those decisions have a rippling effect outward, right? Because it isn't just being able to afford some biological matter. How are you going to afford to feed, clothe, and educate what you've just created? Right? By all means, do not address any of your trauma, the noise in your head, the things that keep you awake at night. Don't address any of that. Don't address the excessive alcohol consumption, the daily alcohol consumption, the binge alcohol consumption, the use of pharmaceuticals to get you through the day. And I'm not talking about ibuprofen and acetaminophen. You know what I'm talking about, friends. Something to wake you up in the morning, something to put you to sleep at night. I'm seeing visions of a toilet and Elvis and sequins and a bodysuit, chest hair, dead. Think about it for a minute. Not spending money to heal your trauma, not spending time to heal your trauma, time, your most valuable currency, not spending that, but you'll spend money on alcohol. You'll spend money to go out with your friends so you can consume your alcohol. All the while, continually damaging your body, your relationships, and everything else around you. It makes total perfect sense. Total perfect sense. It was working in 25. It should work in 26. People fascinate the ever-loving shit out of me because they can make it into their mid-40s, late 40s, early 50s, mid-50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s even, without ever developing the ability to trace cause and effect, to understand how behavior has consequences, how there's more than one situation that is impacted by those decisions. I have these conversations with people all the time, especially when I do a ton of consulting, and they ask me to come in and look some things over and explain what's going on. And you say, well, when you're not compliant with part A, it will impact B, C, D, E, and F. which then impacts you in a legal manner, also impacts you in a revenue manner. And they're like, what, really? Yes, really. So things as simple as inventory control, tracking their clocks, punching in and punching out, and people actually being productive at work versus, just letting everybody have a free-for-all. And the next thing you know, you find out that there's a couple people working 40 hours a week, and they're actually working 40 hours a week. But then there's other people that are getting paid for 40 hours a week, but they're actually only doing about 18 hours of work each week. Think about that for a minute. There have to be guardrails and systems of control in every single aspect of your business and your life. Don't get that twisted. You need all of those things for your machine to run like it's well-oiled, well-maintained, and all of the gears aren't missing any other sprockets. Think about that for a sec. Think about that for a second, okay? Think about a toaster where the coil on one side doesn't heat. Is your toast going to heat? Is your toast going to toast? Is your bread going to toast? No. It's only going to toast on one side. So what does that mean? It means you're going to have a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich without toasted bread on one side. It's going to be ugh. There is fallout from every decision we make. And the fallout could be good. The fallout could be bad. We think of the term fallout and it having a negative connotation. But the fallout often can be good if you have good systems in place. Okay? But these people that make it so late in life without ever developing the ability to understand what's happening, they have no insight, no pattern recognition, just going on vibes. Cross that bridge when I get there, make that decision. Yep, I know I overspent, but that's okay. I'll just work a couple hours of overtime this week and make up for it. What? What? For what? But then they're shocked. They're stunned. They can even be downright angry about the fact that life keeps handing them the same lesson over and over and over again, but just in different packaging and different fonts, right? Think about that. I can't pay my cell phone bill this month because I went shopping and spent too much money. Next month, I can't pay my water bill. I can't pay my gas bill. I can't pay the sewer bill. I can't pay for shit because I don't know how to budget my money. Now, don't think I'm picking on you all that have situations that come up that actually burden the system because you had a system in place. Maybe someone gets ill. You have increased cost of healthcare, co-pays, medications, time off for doctor's appointments, etc. That's a different situation than you just pretty much running your wagon until the wheels fall the fuck off. Okay? So you've got to put systems in place. And there is often a reason why there are systems in place. Look at plastic bags on anything that you've purchased for the holiday season this year. Do not allow children to play with plastic bags. Why do you think that is? Because bad things happened when they played with the plastic bags. Think about why there are systems in place for quality control, quality improvement, quality assurance to assure there is quality. Think about that for a moment. Let's talk about milk. And someone allows an ill heifer to give some milk. And then sour cream is made, butter is made, cheese is made, ice cream is made, drinking milk is made from that tainted milk. Do you see how that is a ripple effect for people? Some people might not drink milk. I don't like milk, but I love cheese and I love sour cream and I love ice cream. Does that make sense? There are systems of control, systems of quality, and you need to comply. You should look at your budget the same way. You should look at the way you clean your home the same way. Everything has a system of control. Everything has quality standards. And you should be doing your best to meet those standards or exceed them all the time, as much as you can. So that then you don't have these crappy lessons handed to you over and over again. Now, I know you hear me say this shit all the time. Old wrinkly white dudes, right? But who said doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results is madness? Was it Einstein? I believe it was. That is true. You cannot screw your budget every single week or month and expect something different at the end of the month when your bills come due. It's not how it works. It's time to be an adult. So you can keep doing the same thing over and over again, or stay with me here, friends. 2026 could be the year you try something radically different. What? Different doesn't mean flashy. Different doesn't mean expensive. It doesn't mean performative self-help while you're posting quotes that you don't actually fucking live by. Okay? Different means living within your means like an adult, not like a daredevil. Okay? Learning and being curious about your patterns instead of defending your dickhead behavior. Okay? Stop defending your shitty behavior because you failed to heal your trauma, because you failed to heal whatever fucked you up when you were a kid, or when you were a teenager, or when you were in your 20s. Doesn't matter when it happened. Okay, maybe it wasn't your parents. Maybe it was your job. Maybe it was your service to this great nation. I don't know. But fucking fix it. I'm always thinking how wild y'all are. You'll fix a flat tire because the car won't go down the road with a flat tire, at least not properly. Y'all are running around out here with flat tires. But come on, you treat your cars better than you treat yourself. Okay? Repair the foundation. It's called point work, by the way. When you repair masonry, repair it instead of just painting over the cracks and trying to fill them in. Okay? Don't do what the jackholes who owned my house before me did when they took a bunch of wood glue and filler shit, filled in the rotting portions of the deck, and then painted over it with deck paint and didn't tell the truth about the deck. Don't worry. My trusted friend Angus found all of the rotting sections, and I had the deck replaced with wedding cake steps and a patio because that deck, it was up off the ground by about 4 feet. I can't imagine if someone had stepped and fell through that deck, the damage that would have been done. But do you see? Not taking care of business properly. Left it in my hands. Fine, I took care of it. I put in a beautiful patio, beautiful wedding cake steps. Not a problem. But all those years they didn't maintain the deck. They could have replaced the decking. Okay? So repair it instead of covering it up. Because trust me when I tell you, the rot is still there. You're not solving anything by hiding it. Nothing at all. And dare I say, once you get rid of that shit, you feel like $1 million. So I bet that along with dealing with that issue, you're going to improve a lot of other things in your life. Accept accountability without turning it into a personal attack on someone else. Yeah, well, I got mad because you made me angry. Emotional dysregulation, anyone? How old are you? Come on now. All right. I'm going to tell you this too. Maybe you're listening to this podcast episode not on 31 December 2025. Maybe you're late to the game because, you're a little bit, nobody told you about me. And you're hearing this in March of 2026 or June of 2026. I promise you, these improvements, these changes, these new things, if you will, you can start them any day of the week, any week of the month, any month of the year, any time. You don't have to wait until a new year, a new moon, a new month, a new you. Get a new you now. If your car broke and it was unrepairable, wouldn't you get a new one? You would. I would. I mean, of course, if you drive Fords, you're going to have to get new vehicles more frequently because, they're crap. I buy a Chevrolet and it lasts me a long time. Be forewarned. If you buy a Ford and you get caught in a storm, your panties are going to get moist from the rain if you don't have a good umbrella. Okay, so be prepared. Be prepared. All right? Just get a Chevrolet. That'll solve a lot of problems right there. You don't need new body parts, by the way. You don't need hair plugs. You don't need a new person in your life to fix what you refuse to face. Because if you're going to refuse to face, no counselor in the world is going to help you. No therapist, no psychiatrist, no psychologist. No one will be able to help you if you do not believe that you need assistance. Needing assistance doesn't make you weak. Needing assistance doesn't mean you're not Wonder Woman. Needing assistance doesn't mean that you're not the man. Okay? I actually say you are a weaker person when you refuse to admit that you've made a mistake, that you have a weakness, that you're not strong in this area. None of us is 100% strong in every single thing we do. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. And anyone who thinks that errors make you weak, I have news for you. No one specific error makes you weak. Repeating errors is what makes you weak. Your inability to see the true you not living authentically who you really are and proffering this facade because you think that that's what other people should see, even though it's not really what you are on the inside. Not really. Not really. All right? Ego, confidence cannot exist in the same space together. Okay? They can't. Are you confident in your worth? Confident in what you bring to the table? Confident in what you know? Confident in your competence? Then ego doesn't need to take over. Ego steps in when there's not confidence. Okay? And individuals who get offended really, really super easy by any type of, friction, if you will, they are the individuals that are run on ego. They have almost no confidence. Almost no confidence. All right? Just know that. So what do you need? You need some insight. You need some discipline. And you need bravery and courage, dare I say it, to admit all of these things that I have been doing they're not working. And that's on me for taking all this time, wasting my most valuable currency on shit that doesn't work. That's it. On shit that doesn't work. So, what do you do? What do you do? So, yeah. You could keep doing what you've always done. Or take Anne Margaret's advice, the salty goddess, and make 2026 the year you finally stop applauding for your own self-destruction and start building something. Build it back, build it strong, something that can actually hold weight and not crumble under the weight. Okay, and the pressure of that facade, of that brick wall with no mortar. All right. Now, I have had individuals say to me, oh, well, you talk a great talk. I mean, Friends, we've all been in that cycle where we've done things that don't work. I come to you from a place of experience of making questionable decisions. Okay. It's true. Listen, I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two. Doesn't make me an expert, but you know damn well I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express a couple years ago, it was decades ago. I don't stay there anymore. We all have a chapter in our book. Every one of us. Maybe we've got 5 chapters, 10 chapters that we would not want other people to read over and over and over again. All right? I'm not coming from a place of I'm superior. I'm coming from a place of experience, and I'm telling you that once you get through the journey, you'll see it can be done. It's worth your time to do it. And you will improve yourself. And listen, when I say improve yourself, I don't mean for other people to see. I'm talking about yourself. So that when you go to sleep at night, the only sound that you hear is yourself saying, it's sleepy time, friends. And that's where I'm headed, to sleepy town. Instead of, why did I say that? Why did I do that? Why didn't I do this? Why do I always do that? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this goes wrong? What if this? All of that noise will start to fall away. You might hear one other thing, which is, I sure the fuck wish I had done this sooner. Trust me, because that's what I say to myself. Okay? Just remember, know your worth, know your value. And if you're having the same argument with yourself or someone else, if you're having the same conversation with your boss, your colleagues over and over again, maybe it's you, and maybe it's time for you to turn that mirror on yourself and say, what can I do different to make 2026 a year filled with opportunity? Please stop going to that social media marketplace and buying biological matter. My friends, it's not safe, okay? I hope that your holiday season has been wonderful. Remember, by the time you hear this podcast, we will have 6 more days of fruitcake season left, and we'll be on the countdown for Pie Day in March. And I'm so thrilled about that. All right? Now, make a promise to yourself that you're going to show up for yourself. Work on those things for yourself, not for anybody else. Doing shit for other people, though that discipline doesn't stick, that commitment, that promise doesn't stick, do it for yourself. Do it so that when you wake up in the morning, you can put a smile on your face and get ready to tackle your day. And when you go to bed at night, you literally only say a couple things to yourself and you fall off to sleep. Wish I had done that sooner. Glad I did it. It's Sleepy Town time. All right, you freaks. Enjoy tonight. Ring in the new year. Ring in some new possibilities. I'll see you next week. And I hope I see more of you next week for your Hump Day Guilty Pleasure in my corner of the multiverse. I'm the Salty Goddess. This is the Salty Goddess Podcast. And Margaret, signing off. We'll see you next week. Take care, y'all.